Hello class, welcome to ethics class. Today is the 5th class of your ethics syllabus and today is the last lecture of theme 1, that is ethics and human interface, right? In 4 lectures we have covered various aspects but they were very simple. They were easy to understand and you can say they were to the point, they were direct, right? But from this lecture, you may feel some complex concepts. You need to study some complex concepts which are very important. Either it is UPSC or it is PCS exam. Either it may be, either you are appearing for, UP PCS, MP PCS, or in that case, Rajasthan PCS. It is applied everywhere. Okay. And some concepts which you will see today, you may also feel that it is out of context of UPSC, but don't, you never think that whatever it is written exactly in the syllabus only, those aspects are going to come in your exam. Those aspects which are not even mentioned in your syllabus, many times questions are coming from that aspect. So it becomes necessary that you should have a full idea of the every important aspect which can be studied under the given syllabus, right? Now, before starting this lecture, what I am going to do, I am going to give you a brief overview of what we are going to study today. So the first aspect which we study today is related to what is human conduct. Very important aspect about human conduct. So we will understand what is human conduct, right? After that we will move to the second aspect which is related to first aspect only, types of human conduct. This is going to be our second theme today, types of human conduct, right? Third aspect which we are going to see today is determinants of human action, right? Third, what we are going to see? Determinants of what? Human action. Fourth aspect which we are going to see today is freedom of will. Very important. This topic is very important because it may come as 5 marks in UPSC, in Rajasthan PCS, UP PCS and Madhya Pradesh PCS, right? The fifth aspect which we are going to see today is what is principle. Often we say people are honest. Often we say I am principled person, but actually, what is principle? Exactly, we don't know. Okay, and in ethics, at least basic concepts, basic definitions you must know. Because interrelating with current affairs or by giving examples of case studies or whatever is not that much difficult. But problem is, people often ignore the standard definition, right? That you should not do. You should remember standard definition of every concept in this subject, right? The sixth aspect which we are going to see today is doctrine of double effect. Okay, the seventh aspect which we are going to see today is extrinsic versus intrinsic value. This concept I missed in previous lecture, so I am covering here, which is going to be your last lecture of what? Topic 1, extrinsic versus intrinsic value. Very small concept but very important, right? And the last aspect, I think, that is going to be 8th is moral progress. This is second last, sorry. I think one more concept is there, that is virtue. Often you will hear about this virtue everywhere. Okay? You will often hear that one should be very virtuous in nature. One should be virtuous in action. But what is virtue? Right? So, let's revisit what we are going to see today. First, we are going to see what is human conduct. After that, we are going to see or study types of human conduct. The third aspect which we are going to see today is determinants of human action. Fourth aspect which we are going to see today is freedom of will. Fifth aspect which we are going to see today is principle. Sixth aspect, very important, that is doctrine of double effect. Right? And the second last aspect we are going to see today is extrinsic versus intrinsic value. And the last aspect is moral progress, but before that, in a very brief form, we are going to see what is virtue. We will understand this concept, right? So, let's move on to first aspect, that is what is human conduct. Okay? See, let's write a standard definition of human conduct. Standard definition of human conduct. So, the manner in which a person or a human behaves in a particular situation. Okay, let me write here. The manner in which, please ensure that you are also making notes of this. Okay, then only it will be helpful while you are watching this lecture, because standard definition are the key component of preparation of ethics, right? Okay, the manner in which a person behaves, okay, in a particular situation. Is called what? Human conduct. Okay? Let's say a person is going, and he passes some comment on women. Okay? He intensely passes comment on women. So, this is human conduct which he has done intentionally without any pressure. Okay? For this, FIR may be registered for this human conduct, because this human conduct is not proper. Just for sake of understanding, I am giving you one example. Now, when it comes to ethics, okay? Now, when it comes to ethics, what we do? We will simply write this definition from perspective of ethics. So, a standard of personal conduct based on moral principle. What you can write? I think this is not visible very much. So, you can write standard of personal conduct. Based on moral principle. Is called what? Is called human conduct. So, ethically, the example which I gave you in that case, the behavior of a person towards women, since he is passing comment, is not morally correct, right? Okay, so related to this, we will enter into second aspect or second concept of today, that is types of human conduct, right? So when we discuss types, generally 3 types are there. Generally, how many types are there? 3 types. One is ethical conduct. Second one is non-ethical conduct. And third one is what? Unethical conduct. You know what is interesting here? Can you guess what is very interesting here? The second aspect, non-ethical conduct. Because it is believed generally that human conduct can be ethical or unethical. But third aspect is also there, that is non-ethical. What is the meaning of non-ethical conduct? Let's understand. It simply means those human conduct are those actions done unintentionally. Actions which are done unintentionally, right? For example, let's say 2 friends are there, okay? 2 friends are there and they are joking with each other. Now what happens? One person, let's say A and B are 2 friends. So A thought, let me crack that joke, by which B will become very happy. And the moment he cracked joke, what started happening? B started laughing. After some time, due to that, heart attack came. So, is action of A is ethical or non-ethical or unethical? This action is non-ethical. Because when he was cracking joke, he was not having intention to kill him. He was having different intention, right? First thing. Second, when there is conduct by child who don't know the consequences, let's say, just assume that a very old man is passing from your house and a very small child threw something on his, let's say, somewhere, and he got injured, that old man, and he got seriously injured. So, will it be ethical, non-ethical or unethical conduct? Non-ethical conduct. Why? Because the child, in case of India, Indian Penal Code doesn't consider, up to 6 years, it doesn't consider as them any offender. Okay? Law starts from 7 years, when you are of 7 years of age. Right? So, these actions or these human conducts are non-ethical. Right? Now, it is easy to understand ethical concept or ethical conduct. Let's say someone is honest, someone is very punctual, right? And the example I gave you, passing comment, is very good example of unethical conduct, right? See, these are very small concepts and easy to understand. Don't try to make it very complex, because complexity will increase your problem. And the civil service exam is all about simplicity. The more simplicity you follow, the more you will understand the aspects, and the more you understand the concept, you will be able to articulate better. Right? Now, let's move to another concept. And another concept is related to your second aspect only. There we studied types of conduct. And we saw ethical conduct, unethical conduct and non-ethical conduct. So, obviously question arises, how to determine which action is ethical and which is, action is non-ethical or unethical. How to determine? What are the factors which determine them? Right? So, there are lots of factors, and we are going to start directly from factors. Just write here factors. Determining human action. If you want to write this in the form of a question, then what you can write? What are the determinants of human action? What are the determinants of human action which decides whether any conduct is ethical or any conduct is what? Non-ethical or unethical. Okay? So let's say first one is related to, first factor is intention. For example, this example I gave you of A and B, both are friends and both are cracking jokes with each other. Due to A joke, B died while laughing due to heart attack, but A's intention was not to kill him. His intention was something else. So his action is obviously non-ethical, right? Second factor which is important in deciding this is actor. Who is doing that? For example, let's say, Corona times is a very good example. Okay? Because what happened in Corona, many people lost their job and they were not having any source of income. So there was huge problem even for food, for basic necessity also. So let us assume that due to depression, due to non-availability of resources, let's assume any person A or B, simply, let's say Suresh went to any house just for what? Just for, taking anything which is available so that he can sell that in market and arrange some food for his family. Case number 1. And case number 2. Achha, one thing more. See, don't think these things are very, not that much serious. These are the most important factors when you are solving case studies. Always remember this. For case studies, you can solve case studies properly when you have good command on paper A, and I means paper A means this. Some concepts you should have very good command, then only you are going to score in part B, that is 125 marks, and 125 marks is not less. Right? So, let us come again on the actor. Case 1 was a person went to, let's say, any home, and anyhow whatever he finds that, he simply sells that market and arranges food from the money he got from there. Now second case, a very rich guy is there and he ran away with bank's money, let's say 1000 crore rupees. So who is more unethical here? The rich guy, obviously rich guy. Right? So second factor which decides, or the second determinant, is actor, or the person who is doing human conduct. The third factor which decides, that is act. What act you are doing? For example, let's say years ago we were hearing about this concept, lynching. Lynching is unethical because the act itself is unethical. I am discussing with the respect of lynching, nothing else. So act is also one of the important factor deciding whether human action is ethical, non-ethical or unethical. Right? Fourth aspect or fourth factor or fourth determinant is circumstances. For example, let's say in self-defense, someone killed the thief or killer, but it was done in self-defense, for defending ourselves, for defending, for defending his own honor, his life, he killed the killer. So this is ethical, non-ethical or unethical? Ethical. Because if he has not done that, maybe he may have got killed. Right? The fifth aspect, let me rub this. The fifth aspect is, or the fifth determinant is consequence. There is a big debate on this aspect, but consequence is also very important factor. And the sixth aspect is what? Victim. A very good example can be, suppose you are posted in a district, let's say social welfare officer, and you meet one very old person or woman, and she is like 85 years old, but she is not getting pension, but after checking everything, after visiting her family, you got to know she is the real beneficiary which she is not getting. So what you have done? You have simply, anyhow managed that lady in procedure for getting pension. So is it ethical or non-ethical or unethical? Ethical. Because the victim here or the beneficiary here, the condition of her is like that. You need to have compassionate behavior. You need to show empathy. You need to show sympathy. You need to be compassionate. You need to show compassion. Right? Okay? So these are very important factors deciding whether human action is ethical or non-ethical. Right? Now let's move to another concept, that is freedom of will. What is freedom of will? And this is very important. It may come in 5 marks. Okay? So let's write a standard definition. First write standard definition, after that we will understand the concept. So freedom of will means the capacity to choose among the ethical alternatives to act in a certain situation to act in a certain situation independent of natural or divine restraint. See, it's very easy to understand. For example, you are choosing some ethical alternatives. For example, let us assume you went to one mess, right? And you ate something there, but mess was very crowded. So you unintentionally forgot to pay the bill, right? And the owner or whatever the person who was handling the affairs of mess at that time, he even forgot to ask you money. And you went. But after some time, this came to in your mind that you missed to pay bill. Okay? Now, this, your capacity, what you will decide, whether you will go back and pay the bill or you will say, ki chalta hai. I will do it again. What is there going to be any impact for, let's say 50 rupees or just one plate of meal? Here your freedom of will is very important. For example, let's say a person is very religious and he thinks that, no, God is watching. I need to pay this bill. This is not freedom of will. Because you are not independent of divine restraint. When you are taking decision independently, okay, independently, this is very important keyword, please highlight this. Then only freedom of will is there, okay. And always remember this, against this idea, one very famous school of thought is there, that is called determinism. Okay? Determinism simply argues that everything is fixed, everything is already decided by natural laws. You know what does it mean? It simply means that if I am teaching you, if I am using this pen, black pen, it means that it was already decided long before. We are not acting as per freedom of will. What I am speaking was also already decided. Right? So determinism concept is the biggest opposer of this concept, freedom of will. Right? Now let's move to other concept, that is principle. What is principle? We often hear, कि let's say Ramesh believes in principles of honesty. Someone believes in principles of punctuality. But actually, what is principle? Okay? So, let's write first a standard definition. Then we will understand the concept. So, it is a truth or proposition. Truth or proposition, okay, that serves as the foundation of system of belief or behavior, which serves as foundation of belief or behavior. Right? See, the most important keyword here is, you know what? Foundation. Means if I am punctual, in whole life I will try to be punctual, because that is the basic foundation of my behavior. That is basic foundation of my belief. It can never change. Just like a building has foundation, principles are foundation. Principles are foundation. And the most important foundation are principles only in anyone's personality. If his principles are not good, then obviously that person's behavior will also not good. Or vice versa, you can argue, if foundation is strong, his principle is strong, if they are strong, then obviously the personality behavior will be also very good. Right? See, this is standard definition. Hana? Ethically what we can write. See, what I am writing ethically, Hana? You also try to remember that. Because sometimes it may come what is principle, Hana, in terms of ethics. This question can come in 5 marks. Right? So, it is a code of action which enable people to behave with integrity, or let's write code of action which enable people to behave with what? Integrity. Right? So ethically, this is principle. Same thing is here, Hana? Same concept is same, just ethically I have written it in a different form. Right? Let's move to another concept, and very important concept, that is doctrine of double effect. Very important, it may come in PCS. And also very important for case study. Okay? So what is doctrine of double effect? Let me write a keyword first, because that keyword you will find everywhere. That is very important. So if morally doing something good has a morally bad side effect, don't get confused. Try to understand. If morally doing something, good has morally bad side effect, right? Even it is having bad side effect, it is ethical to do that. Okay? Or it is ethically okay to do it. But one caveat is there. What is that caveat? Providing that bad side effect was not intended.